Who is the victim? Who is the victim? The narcissist or the person ensnared by the victim? I know there are those who do not like the word victim. They regard it as stigmatizing and a hindrance to recovery. One understands such an approach, but nevertheless it is the appropriate word for those who have encountered our kind in the narcissistic dynamic. What does the word victim mean? A person harmed, injured, or killed as a result of a crime, accident, or other event or action. There is no denying that this would apply to someone who has been ensnared by us. It can also mean a person who is tricked or duped, equally applicable. After all, it is the very essence of our behaviour that we, either unconsciously or consciously, trick or dupe you. A person who has come to feel helpless and passive in the face of misfortune or ill-treatment. Accurate again, of course, not everybody may feel this way, but many will readily recognise it, even if they prefer not to announce it. Accordingly, these various definitions are valid and accurate to those who have been involved with our kind, be it romantic, social, familial, or otherwise. It remains the case, however, that when it comes to the issue of victimhood and who gets to wear the victim's cloak, that once more our kind exhibits our well-known hypocrisy. We regard you as the victim, and we have to maintain this as part of our control over you, but in other instances some of our kind are very much the victim and play the victim, and also look to remove that victim status from you. The various schools of narcissism approach this double standard in differing ways, and it is all driven by the alternative narcissistic perspective. We stamp you with victim, but then deny you the use or any recognition of it. We both adorn you with the cloak of victimhood, but then we will remove it in some way. Let's examine how this is done. The lesser narcissist. The lesser narcissist treats you as a victim because you are beneath him or her. You are considered useless, in the way, an annoyance, and your dithering inability to second-guess what the lesser wants results in a swift ignition of fury and its manifestation as invariably heated fury. You are made to feel the victim by being lambasted verbally, physically assaulted, sexually assaulted, demeaned, having your property destroyed, and seeing others you cared about drawn into the lesser's whirlwind. The lesser narcissist unconsciously perceives that you are trying to make a victim of him or her, and this, of course, is a threat to the narcissist's sense of control, and thus in their unconscious they are a victim of your attempt to make them a victim. This cannot be. The provision of this cloak of victimhood must be fought off. The lesser's treatment of you gives you the mantle of victim, the cloak of victimhood being placed around your shoulders. However, the lesser unconsciously views it as you actually trying to place the cloak on the lesser, and accordingly the lesser immediately rips it away, shreds it, and hurls it to one side, so neither can you wear it, nor can it be placed upon them. The lesser, although maintaining an unconscious victim mentality, does not want to be seen as the victim. They're often deluded. They think they are far superior to what they actually are. Your victimhood is created through an aggressive act or acts. However, you're not allowed to actually retain the mantle of victim because the lesser takes the firm view that whatever treatment has been applied against you, well, they don't even realize that they're abusing you, or if they do, you deserved it. Not only is the attempt to make the lesser a victim rejected, although they remain fixed with the position of being a victim of you trying to make them a victim, thus they actually do maintain a victim mentality unconsciously, you are made the victim, but you're not allowed to use this victimhood in any way, as this would impact upon the lesser's control of you. The cloak of victimhood is removed and ripped up, and you deserve this. For instance, she was back-chatting me, so she got a slap. He was lousy in bed, so I told him how useless he is. The house was a mess, so I smashed it up so she really had something to clean up. You are denied the status of victim because in the mind of the lesser you brought the treatment on yourself. The fact you deserve it negates the sympathy, compassion and understanding that would ordinarily be afforded to a victim. Leave her be. She deserves what she got. Quit fussing over her. It's for his own good, so he'll get it right next time. Stop mollycoddling that boy. He has to learn, and I am teaching him. Of course, this conduct by the lesser of branding you the victim through your mistreatment and then wrenching away the cloak of victimhood is all part of control. The knee-jerk response will have generated fuel from your reaction to being struck or shouted at. But then, as the victim, you would ordinarily be afforded some kind of concern, sympathy and help by others. The lesser may find themselves, through their perspective, of being triangulated by a concerned relative, friend or bystander. This challenges the lesser narcissist's control, and unconsciously his own innate status as a victim comes to the fore. He doesn't recognize this, however. He doesn't perceive himself as a victim, although unconsciously he does. Consciously he rejects that. After all, he doesn't want the cloak to wear for himself. He is adamant that he's not a victim. That doesn't happen to him. No, he is better than that. But just as he believes he doesn't want that cloak, you're not allowed to wear it either, and thus he will deny you any entitlement associated with being classed as a victim, purely because his own inherent victim status, albeit unrecognized, makes its presence known. Even a lesser who belongs to the victim cadre doesn't consider himself actually a victim. Unconsciously he does, but he considers his preferential treatment owing to his poor health, dodgy back, or sheer bad luck an entitlement of his. He will not regard himself as a victim, but just somebody who ought to be looked after, although, of course, he is playing the card of the victim cadre extensively. Why does he play this card? Simple. To assert control over you and stop you being allowed to be the victim. You've hurt your hand and cannot cook. Too bad. He's hungry and not able to walk, so you still have to do it. You feel faint. He has a fractured eyelash, and you need to get him to the hospital quick smart. But remember, he's not the victim. Oh no, consciously he doesn't think that he is. You are, but you're not allowed to get any sympathy, consolation, or help for being that victim. You are both created as a victim, but not allowed to be one. Accordingly, you get the cloak of victimhood, but you're not allowed to wear it. The mid-range narcissist. The mid-range narcissist will treat you as a victim because they are the perpetrator of various abuses and manipulations against you. Whilst heated fury does manifest with the mid-range narcissist, usually lower mid-range, the manifestation of fury is most usually through cold fury. Thus, you receive the present and absent silent treatments. You are smeared, you receive the gaslighting, the glares, the icy looks, the cold shoulder, and the incredible sulk, to name but a few of the manipulations that are available to the mid-range narcissist. The mid-ranger treats you as the victim, as these abuses are doled out against you, and one might expect that the array of emotional, financial, sexual, and most of all psychological abuses that the mid-ranger uses would mean that the victim's cloak would settle snugly about your shoulders. No. The mid-ranger plucks that cloak from you and places it about his or her shoulders. It is their cloak. You are not allowed the trappings of being a victim because you are not entitled to support or concerned attention. No, all of that has to be directed towards the passive-aggressive mid-ranger. Whilst he or she rejects the notion of weakness that is often associated with the status of being a victim, he does indeed believe that he is the victim. I cannot believe I was passed over for promotion. I've been discriminated against, and I am the best candidate. I cannot begin to tell you how terribly she treats me. I'm never invited to see the grandchildren by my daughter. I don't know what I've done wrong, but she's intent on making my life miserable. The mid-range narcissist wants this cloak of victimhood. It is his or her by right, and he or she wants everything that goes with it. They want the pity party, the commiseration conference, and the sympathy symphony. He or she is the victim. Didn't you know that? Show some support, offer a concerned look, ask how he or she is, suggest a way of helping, agree that he or she is hard done to, downtrodden, and treated appallingly, and after everything that he or she has done to help you. This allows the assertion of control and the gathering of fuel. Tell the mid-range narcissist that she deserves to be treated better, that she's well regarded, and this person who has not done what they wanted is an awful, despicable person, and is actually the abuser. The mid-ranger always plays the victim, even though they are the perpetrator. You are their actual true victim because you are the one that is being abused, but the mid-ranger will never see it that way, and he or she will not let anybody regard it that way, as he or she pouts and twirls in their own victim's cloak. You can never be afforded the benefits, so to speak, that should be afforded to the true victim. Should the mid-ranger be of the victim cadre, then order plenty of tissues, because he or she will grab that victim cloak from you and, grimacing, stitch it onto themselves, passing needle and thread through aching skin, so that they can never be parted from that cloak. Always the victim. The greater or ultra. The greater or ultra will never consciously consider him or herself as a victim. Never. After all, they are the hunters, the predators, the ones that consciously target and finds the prey. Not only that, they need only look at what they do, what they achieve, and how they are regarded. And this underlines and reinforces that we are not victims. Nevertheless, there is a concept of being a victim even for the greater and the ultra. Not in terms of the label, but rather it being based on revenge. We see the world as a treacherous place, full of untrusty charlatans and liars who come with great promises and then who fail to deliver. The simpering and fawning lickspittles who flatter to deceive, though we naturally see through all of that, yet still that behaviour, unwarranted and unjustified, means we could consider ourselves victim if we truly would lower ourselves in such a way. However, we are above that, and once we were victims, a long, long time ago, although we see no reason to be reminded of that fact because we escaped it, means that you, him, her, and everyone else will be punished if you even hint at returning us to that almost forgotten state of victimhood. Accordingly, any threat to our control that you manifest threatens to revert us to that status of victimhood a long time ago, and will and must be resisted totally. We have no desire to wear the victim's cloak. It doesn't belong to us. It's not our size, colour, and is made of material that is inferior to us. You are absolutely regarded as the victim, because this game we play with you, and one which we revel in, means you have to be the victim, because that means we win and you lose. Oh, this cloak is yours all right, but just like the lesser and the mid-range narcissist, we will deny you any right to wear it. Why should you be afforded any sympathy, support, or help? You shouldn't, and here's why. You deserve to be punished. You have nothing to complain about. We have given you the world by your association with us, and therefore how on earth can you have any basis for complaint? You brought this treatment on yourself, so not only do you deserve it, akin to the viewpoint of the lesser narcissist, but it actually goes further than that. It is right and just for you to be treated that way. Should the criminal be afforded sympathy when his sentence is announced? No. Should the morally repugnant member of the community be afforded kindness for his heinous behaviour? No. Then neither shall you. You are denied the accoutrements of the status of victim. You are the victim, absolutely, but you will not wear that cloak. It does not even reach your shoulders, as it does with the victim of the lesser narcissist. We forbid it coming anywhere near you. We are the supreme judges of your fate, and we always apply the maxim of commodum ex injuria sua nemo habera. Did you not know that this has been stitched into the lining of the victim's cloak? Of course, this maxim is not applicable to us.